Master of Science Ph.D. Allow me to read her short bio. Mr. Robi Andoyo is the lecturer of the Department of Food Industrial Technology, Faculty of Agroindustrial Technology, Universitas Pajajaran. Not only being a lecturer, he is also the Vice Dean of Academics, Student Affairs, Research and Collaboration of FTIP, Universitas Pajajaran. He is also the chairman of Indonesian Association of Food Technology, FTIP, branch Bandung, and he is taking his bachelor degree in food technology, Universitas Pajajaran, master degree majoring in organic food management, Hohenheim University, German, and completely doctoral degree majoring in food science, Argo Campus as France. Mr. Robi has done plenty of researches, and one of the recent ones is nutritional intervention in stunting children using high-protein vegetable foods. To Mr. Robi Andoyo, Master of Science PhD, the time and screen is yours.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for the committee for introducing me. So for the next 1.5 hours, I will be the moderator for this morning session. So before we start the lecture, please, I would like to introduce our distinguished speakers. Yeah, I will read her short curriculum vitae. So Professor Rona Camille M. LizardoAgustin, Ph.D., Ph.D. Yeah. She is the head of Food Chemistry Divisions from the Institute of Food Science and Technology, College of Agriculture and Food Science, University Filipina, Los Baños. So Professor Rona obtained her bachelor study from the University of Philippines, Los Baños, and continue with the Master of Food Science from the same university, from UPLB, and obtain her PhD in Biotechnology, Functional Food Processing from Dong-A University, Busan, Republic of Korea. So Professor Rona Camille had work experience from the assistant professor at UPLB, and currently she is the head of Food Chemistry Divisions. So Professor Rona today would like to share with us. She will be presenting his speech entitled Harnessing the Utilizations of Underutilized Fruits for Functional Food Developments. Professor Rona Camille, the screen is yours. You may have 1 hour to present your speech, and after that, we will continue with the discussions. Please, Professor Rona.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor, for that wonderful introduction. So please allow me to just share my screen. Just a moment.
Yeah, please allow Professor Rona to share the screen.
Okay, I will be sharing the screen now. Just a moment, please.
Okay, I think we can see your screen, Professor.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it okay now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so again, a pleasant morning to everyone. It is actually such a pleasure and an honor to be invited as a guest speaker in this international virtual mobility program. So the title of my presentation is For the Future of Food, Harnessing Underutilized Foods for Functional Food Development. So in the first days, particularly in day one of this mobility program, it has been discussed by one of our esteemed speakers during that day that among the top list of trends in and innovations in the field of food science and technology
Suaranya digedein.
is about functional foods. Okay, so in this particular topic, so the ideas behind this and part of our researches that I will be presenting today were actually inspired by my studies during my PhD in South Korea 3 years ago. During that time, I was able to perform both traditional and emerging techniques in innovating food products with enhanced functionality or functional properties. And it has become my vision also and purpose to apply this knowledge and skills in our country and region in the context that our region, particularly the Southeast Asian part, is here in Southeast Asia, we have an abundance in natural resources, which are yet to be explored and can actually be utilized in the production of functional foods. So for the outline of my presentation this morning, so I will be giving an overview about functional foods, particularly in the context of consumer perspective, and also overview of indigenous and underutilized fruits. And I will focus on certain fruits which I have worked on, and also some examples of products from these fruits which are really functional. And also, I will be sharing part of or some research methodologies which we have performed and currently performing in our ongoing research in production of these functional foods from underutilized foods. And then I will be showing also some highlights and findings, some important findings about these researches, and particularly focusing on the enhancement of certain biological activities of potential functional foods from the underutilized fruits through the fermentation, particularly through a processing technique, the fermentation. And also, I will be discussing some consumer perception and acceptability about this new fermented fruit beverage. And lastly, some conclusions and future perspectives. Okay, so as we all know, functional foods have been introduced to the world, particularly by Japan in the 1980s. So these functional foods are those which can go beyond the usual foods that we eat. So they provide not only the nutrition that we need, but beyond this nutrition, they provide certain functionalities such as disease prevention and health promoting properties. So these are just some of the examples of functional foods which have trended or which have increased in market sales and consumer demand in the past years, particularly in starting from the year 2020, which is also the year by which we are recovering from the pandemic. So consumers have still were increasingly demanding and have turned into foods that would help them manage and or help them with regards to their certain health conditions and promote their well-being. So starting 2020, these examples of foods and beverages, such as those which can help control hypertension, those which are weight control products, and those functional food products which are considered as diabetes care products have been increasing in terms of market shares and were in demand in the market because there is an increase or more than 10% increase in its demand. And also up to now, and even in the future, there is a projected increase in its demand. And then we also have, of course, these products which can improve or boost our immunity, those which have antioxidant properties, and also those products which can help us manage stress and anxiety and promote our well-being are very, very appealing to our consumers. Among the array, so there are lots of functional foods which have been in the market and are still continuously being developed and innovated. But starting in 2021, they're based on market surveys regarding nutrition. There has been an increase in trend, or these fermented foods are among those trendy superfoods starting 2021 and still also projected to increase in the next years. Also, functional foods which are based or processed from certain exotic fruits and botanicals were also increasing in market share. So included in these exotic fruits are those fruits which are found in most tropical countries. Okay, so because of their high bioactivities and very good phytochemical contents, they have been attracting producers or processors, and they have been attracting researchers also in terms of innovating functional foods and nutraceuticals. So with regards to underutilized fruits as a source of or ingredient for functional foods, so of course they are naturally occurring and they contain naturally occurring components or compounds which have specific bioactivities. They are originated or have evolved or maybe cultivated in specific regions of the world. So there are great possibilities that there are uniqueness among the regions, of course, across the world with regards to the fruits that can be produced or processed into functional foods. So these fruits, so past studies have established that these fruits contain essential nutrients, vitamins, and minerals which provide nutrition. And then also they naturally contain compounds with bioactivities, as mentioned, and also these functional fruits have can be ingredients that could give health promoting properties. So furthermore, fruits, so as we said, they contain bioactive chemicals, and these bioactive chemicals were proven also to have direct impact to human nutrition and could be beneficial to human health. So these compounds are phytochemicals which are considered non-nutritive, but they are very essential because they have a vital impact on human health and wellness. So mostly these fruits may contain phenolics and organic acids, and several studies have shown that their extracts and specific compounds from these fruits have disease preventive properties, and they exert specific effects in our body, promoting health and wellness, okay, such as effects on cardiovascular health, control of blood glucose levels, and studies also show that they have potentials for prevention of certain types of cancer. So the bioactive compounds contained in these fruits, which are potent antioxidant and have health-related activities, of course, vary. So they may vary among fruits, among cultivars, and they are highly influenced. So the availability of the different bioactive compounds in these fruits are highly influenced by the location by which they grow, the conditions for which they are cultivated, among others. Therefore, it is also relevant that studies on these conditions and studies on different regions or countries which could directly affect about things that could directly affect the compounds, as well as the improvement of the presence or levels of these compounds and bioavailability should be continuously explored in future studies. So with regards to this underutilized fruits, so just like any other fruit or commodity, they are highly perishable. So to date, the application of heat is still one of the most common method for processing these foods, because heat, of course, has the ability to inactivate microorganisms and spoil enzymes, which would cause or lead to the spoilage or fast spoilage of these commodities. So the use of thermal processing is relatively very important, and they are also less expensive and relatively practical. So since these fruits are highly perishable commodities, these high temperature processing are the ones which is usually aid in their preservation. So for example, also these fruits, underutilized fruits, including underutilized fruits, are usually processed into juices, smoothies, purees, nectars, and the like. And apart also from the canned ones, canned products, and the dehydrated products. However, we know that heat processing, particularly at relatively severe conditions, may induce some chemical and undesirable physical changes that would impair not only the organoleptic properties, but may also reduce the content of important bioactive compounds. Just like in this, some of these studies were in the high temperature or thermal processing significantly decreased the contents of these important bioactive components, okay, which are the source of the functionality of these fruits. Okay, so of course, it as perishable commodities, it is important for them to be processed, considering also that most of these underutilized fruits are also somewhat seasonal. So one way to, of course, to make them available, be available all year round is through preservation and processing methods. We also know that there has been several emerging technologies which does not use or utilize high temperature or thermal processing. However, some of these processes may not be reachable or may not be readily available in some regions or countries in the world because some of these emerging processes, although they are very important and they have been really proven to have a significant effect in preserving the properties of foods, many of these technologies and processes may be expensive and not up to now. Some countries do not still do not have some of these important technologies. So in this presentation also, I will be focusing in some of these indigenous and underutilized fruits, which I have worked on. We have worked on as a project team, and I have worked on also during my PhD studies. So one of these is the Elagus multiflora. So it is known as cherry silverberry. Most cultivation and growth of this particular fruit is mainly in East Asia, especially in China, Japan, and Korea. Although I think there are species also which grow and are present in some European countries, also in the Americas. So there are species and also genuses, similar genuses, which are present in other continents around the world. And then I will be discussing also about our experiments or research on Java plum, which is usually, I think, originated or is mainly present in the Indian subcontinent and other parts of Southeast Asia other than the Philippines. And then we also have this lipote, which is considered to be endemic to the Philippines, although I think there are also some genuses which are found in other countries or areas. And then we have here Bignay or Queensland cherry. I think also this is called as, I think, Mao-berry in some Southeast Asian countries. And this is highly studied in Southeast Asian countries. They are growing in the lower Himalayas, Southeast Asia, and north part of Australia. So studies in these underutilized fruits have shown that they contain compounds with potent antioxidant activities, as well as potential disease prevention properties. And studies have done also that these products from these fruits were proven to be non-toxic and they are all edible. So as a fruit, of course, they are proven to be edible. So they are all edible fruits. And then when processed into certain or specific food products, studies have shown that they are non-toxic when they are ingested. Also, studies on their phytochemical contents and biological activities, particularly their antioxidant effects, have been shown. And these fruits and some of these are berries are still considered as underutilized despite their high potential. So they have been, but there are food products produced from them. So they are utilized in the processing of fruit preserves, purees, juices, and even wine. So, however, the health promoting properties as well as potential of these fruits, underutilized fruits, as commercial functional food are still to be fully explored. So this is just to show that there are already a large number of epidemiological studies which have associated the consumption of these fruits and their products with decreased risk of degenerative diseases such as cancer, coronary heart diseases. So disease prevention are actually also attributed to the presence of the bioactive compounds and health promoting phytochemicals present in them. And in this respect, so knowing and having shown that there have been researches, so in this respect, it is of really paramount importance to develop and to further explore these fruits and develop them uh, into food products, functional food products, and to use processing methods which can actually preserve not only the nutritional and sensory qualities, but also the bioactivity, important specific bioactivities and constituents of this that are present in these underutilized fruits and their products. So in the development of functional foods and nutraceuticals, there are a lot of considerations. And also, as we know, there are still several countries which do not have, of course, regulations with regards to these functional foods and nutraceuticals. For example, here in the Philippines, it is still being worked on about how to regulate these functional foods and nutraceuticals. So, in their development, of course, it is important that we characterize or know the source. So, the source, of course, should be um, the non-toxicity of its components and other important characteristics of the source leading to its bioactivity. So it should be well profiled and studied and documented. And also the specific bioactive compounds of these fruits or these sources, it is also important that it is these are also profiled. And because from knowing these specific bioactive compounds, it has an impact of knowing or having the knowledge about its specific effects also. So, and also it is important to establish its efficiency. Okay. And also the mechanism, establish or determine at least the potential and mechanism of action behind the functionalities, bioactive or biological activities of these functional foods and nutraceuticals. Okay, so having said that, so these are just some examples of products which have been studied and the mechanism of action and their potential biological activities have been determined through past through certain researches. So one example is tomato vinegar based drink, which was shown to have anti-obesity effect. So in this study, the tomato vinegar was produced through a two-step fermentation, and it was assessed for its effectiveness in treating or limiting the lipid accumulation, particularly in the 3T3 L1 adipocytes. Okay. And also, in vivo studies have shown the effect of this tomato vinegar based drink. So with regards to the adipocytes, it helps in reduction. It has shown that using this product leads to reduction of the adipocytes area. And with regards to some biomarkers, it led to the decrease in the triglycerides as well as cholesterol in those rats which were subjected to high fat diet and then supplemented with this tomato vinegar based drink. So in this study, the authors have concluded that it is possible, okay, to developed this product, tomato vinegar based drink, which is a functional food with possible anti-obesity effect. So another established product is the Japanese apricot concentrate. So this product has enhanced polyphenol contents which can inhibit or prevent the proliferation of colorectal cancers. So in this present study, the authors have demonstrated that the growth inhibitory effects of this product was due to the arresting the cell cycle of the colorectal cancer cells. So this product was able to suppress, the growth and proliferation of the cells. And the mechanism of action also was elucidated by tracing the cell cycle pathway by which this product has an effect into. So another product example is that I have worked on is the production of the cherry silverberry beverage, which is actually a fermented beverage using lactic acid bacteria. But this is not a probiotic drink. So it does not contain live microorganism, but it has been fermented by lactic acid bacteria. So in this study, we have demonstrated that this product has the ability to or has the anti-proliferative properties against colorectal cancer cell, which in this particular study, we use the SW480 colorectal cancer cell line. It was also found that the mechanism behind its anti-cancer property is through also cell cycle arrest. So also it was found that this product can aid in the suppression of metastatic activity of the colorectal cancer cells. And the mechanism behind this is through regulating specific proteins associated with cell motility. So in terms of tracing the pathway by which this product exhibit its effect, so it can regulate certain cell cycle pathway, which results in the tumor suppression effect. Okay, so with that, it was concluded that the potential that this product, the fermented cherry silverberry juice, has the potential to be an anti-colorectal cancer functional food. Although still, further studies, especially clinical studies, should still be performed in order to fully establish such claim. But there is this possibility or potential. So this is just an overview of the methodologies that we are still doing as of now in our laboratory under our project with the use or processing of these underutilized fruits into functional foods and nutraceuticals. So first, of course, preparation of the fruit juices. And one crucial step in the methodology is the optimization of the fermentation process for the beverage production or for the product, functional food product production. And also, it is important to do the characterization of the bioactivities and elucidate the possible underlying reason behind this bioactivity. So identification of certain compounds which can lead to these bioactivities. And lastly, of course, as we all know, one of the important challenges in the development of functional foods is consumer acceptance. So we did a consumer perception analysis wherein we identified or determined the possibility of or the possible acceptability of the developed products among targeted consumers, their perception with this product, and their insights and ideas. We probed also into their insights and ideas that would help us, the researchers, in order to make improvements and further optimize the process in developing the products. So one important concept also in our product development is, as I have shown in the previous slides, that we are employing the fermentation process. So this important concept is the biotransformation. So this may occur or this may happen during the process, wherein there are chemical reactions which are carried out, okay, for the specific conversion of complex substrates, okay, into more simpler ones by the use of microbial cells or purified enzymes as catalysts. So this biotransformation process may occur during fermentation, and it can help in the production of functional compounds or enhance the productivity of the desired compound. Also, the process can be carried out in or under mild conditions, which is relatively practical. And then also, the rapidity of production is also an advantage. So starting in this slide, I will be showing some highlights and findings that we have obtained as we go along with our study. So in terms of the cherry silverberry fruit, okay, which I have said will be highlighted in one fruit which will be highlighted in this presentation. So we did a comparison between unfermented and fermented fruit juices. So based on the results, first, the phytochemical screening or analysis, total phytochemical analysis, we have found out that the fermentation process could further enhance or increase the levels of these total phytochemical components, particularly when we use co-cultures of Lactobacillus plantarum and Lactobacillus casei. So co-cultures ferment the fruit juice and resulted in a significant increase in this total polyphenol and total flavonoid contents. Furthermore, upon determining the specific components or the phenolic profile of these fermented and unfermented samples, it has also been confirmed that specific phenolic compounds were increased. Okay, so especially the ones fermented with co-cultures. So there is a significant increase in epigallocatechin, epicatechin, epigallocatechin gallate, also lutein, naringin, and quercetin. So there was a significant increase. Okay, sorry. Okay. And then for the specific bioactivity screening, so we determine the specific antioxidant mechanisms of this fruit juice, and comparing also the fermented and unfermented ones with specific, also we compared with specific positive controls. So it was found out that there is indeed an increasing antioxidant, in vitro antioxidant effects of the fruit. So there was enhancement in such biological activity by the fermented products. And attribution of this could be somehow attributed with this increase also in the phenolic compounds and flavonoid contents of the fermented samples. So in such process of fermentation, the use of these microorganisms, particularly the lactic acid bacteria, were found to facilitate not only the release but also possibly the enhancement of these phenolic components in these fruits. Also, there could be bioconversion as evidenced by previous studies. There could be bioconversions into specific metabolites and synthesis of some bioactive components from the metabolites, which through a variety of metabolic pathways. And this may be activated depending also on the microbial strain and the substrate. So it is important that different substrate, there could be different reactions possibly by the specific microorganism. Okay. And then, with regards to our ongoing study, we have prepared or produced this bignay juice, or the mulberry or Queensland cherry juice, using acetic acid fermentation, 2-stage fermentation. And this product is an acetic acid based product, wherein it is shown that, or we have found out that this fermented product has significantly higher total phytochemical composition as compared with the unfermented juice. And then with regards to specific phenolic compounds, almost all, or I think all of these specific targeted phenolic compounds analyzed in the samples were significantly increased. Also, in terms of antioxidant properties, there were slight increase, but it was relatively preserved, the antioxidant activity, as well as the enzyme inhibition activity in terms of alpha amylase and alpha glucosidase. So we know that these enzymes are related to carbohydrate metabolism. And the importance of inhibitory effect of components or products against these enzymes can be linked and can be further studied as potentials or possible potentials of this product for regulating blood glucose and eventually in regulating the diabetes condition. Okay, so another product is the acetic acid based fermented lipote juice. So in this juice, there was significant increase in the total phenolic amount. And then in specific phenolic compounds, there are majority of these phenolic compounds were significantly higher as compared with unfermented ones. And then all antioxidant activity mechanisms were relatively higher also with the fermented product as compared with the unfermented one. And for the enzyme inhibition property, it was preserved. Okay? The enzyme inhibition activity of the juice was still high or preserved even after the process. And then for the lactic acid fermented Java plum juice. So this is lactic acid fermentation also. Relatively, there were no significant increase in most of the properties, but it is important to note that this processing technique actually preserves the product, okay? Lengthens its shelf life. And other than lengthening the shelf life, it is also important to take note that the bioactivities, which is important for this particular types of product, these bioactivities and bioactive components were preserved or remained intact, which is one of our goals also. If we want to make this product available all year round, we also want that the nutrition and the bioactivities or functionality that this product are promised to deliver are there or are preserved. And then, of course, it is very important that we know consumer insights also about these products. So after undergoing, of course, ethical application for research ethics for the use of human participants for consumer testing, which were certified and approved. And of course, we have the baseline information that these products are edible and non-toxic for humans. So that is the time to do the consumer testing. So in the consumer acceptability testing, we have screened several participants based on their consumption habits, based on their potentials as target consumer of this product. So they are familiar also with the fruits. They are consumers of fermented and functional beverages. So these criteria were specified and important criteria for the selection of the proper judges who would or the proper respondents, participants who would serve as consumer panel for this particular study. And for these results, okay, so we have done true hedonic rating. So the participants or the consumer panel rated or evaluated the samples in terms of these perceived characteristics. And the scores were, or the hedonic rating starts from 1, which means dislike extremely, and then 9 as the highest score, which means like or extremely acceptable. So for these two particular products, the lactic acid fermented products, it is important to note that relatively these products have moderate to really high consumer acceptability. So a score of 7 or higher is acceptable. Okay, and when it comes to consumer perception, we also do some in-depth focus group discussions wherein they give the consumers provided some ideas and descriptions that they could provide about the specific products. So for instance, for the lactic acid fermented Java plum, most of the consumer panel were able to perceive sweet, alcoholic, combinations of sweet, alcoholic, floral, sour notes. While in the bignay or mulberry lactic acid fermented product, there was also a hint of alcoholic, sweet, sour, and fruity, as well as floral notes. These were the dominating perceived notes by the judges or the panel. With regards to the acetic acid-based products, relatively, only the Bignay has relatively higher or moderately acceptable to highly or to acceptable ratings. While for the Lipote, only one characteristics or only the overall appearance was relatively acceptable. The rest were just slightly acceptable. So this would show still some room for improvement for this particular product. And the perception of these consumers are important for us in order to further improve and to know on how we can improve and further develop this product in line, of course, with establishing its bioactivity and its functionality, okay, and provide evidences regarding these claims. So just a quick overview of some of our ongoing work. So there are still many fruits available which remain to be studied further. And this could be done, of course, by characterizing them, profiling them, and developing into products and determining the potentials of these products. So, of course, it is very important to know that in innovations and application of technologies in the product development, it is important also that this could be used by our beneficiaries, like our consumers or even our farmers. So for future perspective, so upon realizing that there are great potential of these underutilized foods for the production of functional foods and nutraceuticals, this would pave the way probably in many industries. So every region, every country could be abundant or have unique commodities present in their countries. May have abundant in fruits, berries, which are known or may be explored to contain high levels of compounds and substances that have high biological activities. So most of these fruits, although indigenous in most regions or countries and can only be found uniquely in certain parts, they are remaining to be underutilized and understudied. So also surpluses and losses after production may be a scenario, okay, due to lack of proper post-handling, processing, and facilities, which could result in wastage of these fruits with high potentials. So it is important that we broaden the application of these fruits and indigenous and underutilized ones in the food and agricultural and health industries, especially or specifically in the area of research and development of high value food products and ingredients, which would also promote health and wellness as well as prevention of diseases. So the development of high quality food products with enhanced health promoting properties can be done, and this could also be further studied for commercialization and marketability. Also, these researches could benefit the research and development sectors. Also, it could benefit the farm sector, the processors, both small processors and big companies or processors, and up to the final consumers. So lastly, I would like to acknowledge these people and team. First, my professor when I did my PhD in South Korea, Dr. Camille, and then our project team for our ongoing research about the impact of fermentation technologies on the biological activities and overall quality of the selected indigenous fruits in our country, which is funded by our university system. That is all, and thank you very much for your attention and time. Thank you for listening.
Bisa dimulai? Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor, for a
Thank you
very
very
nice and comprehensive talk. Yeah, it's very interesting. Since Indonesia and Philippines, I think we are located at the same continent.
Yes.
Most of the thing that you have presented, I think also present in Indonesia.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have a different name. Yeah.
Yes.
We had a different name. So it's very interesting, Professor. So now I would like to continue to the discussion sessions. I want to invite participants from the Zoom meeting. You may ask questions directly, yeah, by raising hand, or you can also write your questions in the chat box, yeah. Okay, so please raise your hand if you want to ask. Mention your name and also the institution where you're coming from. If I see from the chat box, there is oh, it's disappeared. I don't know. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, there is one question. See, I see from the chat box. Yeah, coming from Ibu Fira. Yeah, Ibu Fira is from the Universitas Pajajaran. She asking about the method that you use to identify the can you show the question, please, for the committee, because I cannot see in my chat box. Okay, can you go to the chat box, please?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Okay,
it's disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe we can invite directly Bu Fira to ask the questions directly to you. Yeah, please, Bu Fira. Yeah. So that's the questions. Yeah. What methods, yeah, used to analyze and
Okay.
identify the metabolites?
Good morning,
and the
Professor
silverberry.
Rona.
Yeah. Okay, please, Bu Fira, you can
Yes, good
ask
morning.
directly.
Yeah, my name is Vira Putri Arlina, and I see your presentation is very nice and very lot of information, especially about metabolite profiling.
Yes.
So I want to ask you about what is methods you are used to analyze and identify the metabolic profiling. Are you use metabolomics? Because we have another research about metabolic profiling too. So maybe you can share what is the method you are used to analyze and identify metabolites from fermented food. Thank you.
Okay. So in our past study, we just use HPLC for determination of these specific compounds. And of course, we have these standards as the basis. So there are, I just did not place in this slide chromatograms, but we have noticed that there are lots of other unknown peaks that are still can be further explored if we use metabolomics in analyzing this component. So really, there are still some work to do with regards to this. So this is just targeted identification of the specific compounds using HPLC and using the specific references as much as possible. So as much as many references that we can use in order to identify the peaks.
Okay, is that answer your question, Bu Fira? Okay, I hope it could answer the questions. And if we have any other question, probably you can discuss with Professor in other times. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Bu Fira. Okay, Professor Rona, thank you. So we are moving to the next questions. Yeah, we see from the chat box. There is one question from Hana in Malaysia. Yeah, so probably in order to be more know each other, probably I would like to invite directly Ibu Hana to deliver your questions directly to Professor Rona. Please, Bu Hana. Bu Hana, maybe you can answer directly, ask directly. Okay. If no, maybe I will read the questions. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. So Bu Hana is already here. Okay,
Because
please.
I cannot unmute just now. It's not allowed.
Okay. May
Okay.
I see your face, probably, Bu Hana? Can you on your
I
camera?
have some problem with the camera actually because
Okay, it's
no
okay.
internet connection. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Please.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice to be in this fruitful session. And hello, Professor and Moderator. So thank you for your very informative information just now. So from my side, I just want to know that is there any specific parts of fruits used in the production of these underutilized products? Because we know that actually in the food matrix itself, different parts it possess different properties. So I just want to know, is there any specific parts or the whole fruits is being used? And then how well is the consumer acceptance of these underutilized products in general so far? And in your point of view, Professor, how can these products actually reach the potential consumer in the current market sector? Because sometimes when people heard about the underutilized term, they will be a little bit scared or it's not so familiar in this nowadays world. So that are some of my questions. Hope you can answer it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor, for those wonderful questions. And to answer the first one, in terms of the specific parts of the fruits that were
Yeah.
used, because we started from the juice. So in order to process the juice, we remove the seeds. So we just get the juice, like the extract, the liquid part. So we press the fruit, remove all the solids or the pomace, and then we have the juice or the puree of the fruit. So that juice was the one used in the fermentation process. Although in when I performed the study about the cherry silverberry fruit, I also screened all parts of the fruit first before processing. And of course, also as expected, the seeds always contain the highest bioactivity. That's why in most nutraceuticals and pharmaceutical industries or products also, which are based on natural products. So the seeds are really important source of bioactive compounds. But for these particular products, because we want, of course, we also know that since it is a seed, this may contain high probably tannins or bitter components. And we don't want that in our product. So we, during the development also, we have to somehow compromise with the taste, the flavor, and then the bioactivities together. So that is why, we use the juice, the fruit juice, okay, the natural fruit juice, and then that fruit juice is has undergo the process into this functional beverage. And then in terms of consumer acceptance, so it depends on the, as I have shown in my previous slides, there was one fruit, fermented fruit juice, which was not highly acceptable for consumers based on our consumer type test study. So based on this, we just identify or we just ask these consumers also in depth through focus group discussions about why they did not like this product and what are the possible improvements that we can do with the product. So this would So hand in hand, it's like working with the consumer in further developing and innovating this in functional food products, because they are the beneficiaries of this product. So that is what we do. Although there are, as shown also in the slides, there were 3 of these prototype products which have relatively high acceptance to the target consumer or the consumer panel. And then in general, so I think these products could really reach potential consumer in our current market by, of course, we still have a lot of educating to do with and introducing this to our target market. Although also, as we can see in several surveys and researches, there is increasing demand for consumer trends with regards to functional foods. So even young ones, it is also interesting that in our study, most of our consumer panels are relatively younger generation, like millennials. There are also some Generation Z or Gen Z portion of the population of the panel members or consumers who tested or tried the products. And there is a potential for acceptance to them. But still, of course, since these are other underutilized fruits, and I have also, as I have said in my previous first part of the lecture, that each country actually may have unique fruits. Other countries may not have these fruits, which can be developed in functional foods. So, of course, possibly your first target for that product would be your own country, your own community, because it is also we can deduce that these fruits are familiar, or this community or our country is somehow familiar with the fruits that grow in that country. Although, yes, there should still be some educating them with regards to what our natural resources are. And also, if we really establish everything about these functional foods, from their mechanism of action up to potential consumer acceptability, so these evidences and these researches could aid us further in offering these products to the target market or the current consumers.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope it could answer your questions, yeah, Miss Hannah. Okay, so is there any other questions from the audience? Okay, so while we are waiting for the other question from the audience, I would like to ask to Professor Rona. It's very interesting, Professor Rona, because we also in Indonesia, we do have many of the unutilized fruits, yeah. But we have a problem when we try to implement or to sell this kind of product to the consumer. There is a problem with the taste. There is a problem also with the health claim, yeah. You know, in Indonesia, we have a regulatory body, yeah, under the Ministry of Health, yeah. Before we sell our product to the consumer, it should fulfill the regulation. One of the regulation that we have to conduct what we call as the preclinical study, yeah, in order to prove the claim of the functional food, yeah. So I just want to ask your opinion about this and how the Philippines make regulations concerning these problems, yeah. Maybe you can share with us.
Okay. Thank you, Professor, for the question. So, with regards to regulations, I believe still countries differ actually in terms of regulations when it comes to these functional foods and nutraceuticals. And from country to country, there are also specific differences with regards on how they regulate these. And it is really a challenge in each country on how to really establish these regulations with regards to functional foods and nutraceuticals. So just for example, like in Japan, as we all know, they have this fushu, or they have this different classification, standardization of these functional foods, and they have really this specific, very specific standards or regulations about this,
Mhm.
because these products are really highly appreciated or highly consumed in that country. So in countries like ours, wherein still there is this emerging, this is still somewhat an emerging one, and consumer acceptance is also a challenge. So as here in the Philippines, we have this also, the Food and Drug Administration and Department of Health, which are involved in the regulations of for food and for certifying food products. But with regards to specific functional foods and nutraceuticals with very specific health claims, we are still in the process of setting definite standards and regulations. So that is why, with regards to this, as researchers, innovators, part of this innovating these functional foods is really establish the evidence for their functionality, like up to determining their mechanism of action, up to clinical testing, to for them to have approved therapeutic claims. So we just have this labeling in such products, no approved therapeutic claims, because probably these products may not have yet approved, or may not have yet undergone studies or provided evidences that could establish certain or specific functionalities.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Professor. Yeah, I think with that explanations, this is indicate that in order to make these products goes to the consumer, I think you should make collaboration between disciplines, right?
Yes,
We
it
need
is a collaborative effort.
yes, maybe we need a scientist, of course. We need nutritionists. We need also the medical doctors. Yeah, we need the horticulturists. This is important to make such kind of collaborations. So probably you can share with us what kind of strategy that you can propose, yeah, to us or to the members of the participants in this room, probably, yeah, in order for future collaborations, yeah, regarding how we can develop our fruits, underutilized fruits or other commodities, probably, Professor. Maybe you can share with us.
Yes. Of course, I also believe that one way also is through educating, through information dissemination and collaborative efforts among the players in such industry. And also, one very, very important thing is policy making, about the policymakers. So we should also reach out as innovators or scientists. We also have the duty, or I think task, to reach out to our policymakers in order to hand in hand craft some policies, maybe in order to benefit our consumers. And as researchers, through our studies, we have these evidences, but these evidences should not be kept on the shelf or just in papers. So we should really be proactive in doing our part also. It may be really difficult because, of course, it's like maybe just in our case, some of us may be asking that, is this still my job? Is this still part of my job to reach out to the policymakers? I think yes. So we have to be proactive. We have to think about the future and our beneficiaries. Okay, so especially farmers and our consumers. So
Mm.
as being given the privilege to study these things, to research these things. So it is also part of our somehow our task to reach out to making policies regarding this.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor. It's very interesting. So, is there any other questions from the audience? You may raise hand or write your questions in the chat box. If not, probably we can finish our sessions, yeah? But I believe that what we have discussed today is very fruitful, and I hope all the participants here can take a message, yeah, from Professor Rona, yeah, and I hope that discussion will be continue, yeah, outside this event, of course, yeah. So I'm on behalf of the committee would like to thank to you, Professor Rona, for a very nice presentation and nice topic, yeah. And for the next agenda, I would like to giving back to the committee. Thank you. Oh yeah, okay. I also would like to give the certificate of appreciations to Professor Rona Camille LizardoAgustin as a speaker in the International Virtual Mobility Program 2023. Thank you very much, Professor, for your participations, and I hope this certificate could still in your memory, and I hope that we can collaborate for the future. Thank you.
Yes, looking forward to future collaborations. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, I'm giving back to the committee.